Alright, so I decided to stick around because there's actually a few ways you can do this 12 Bags of Gold Riddle. I've actually never heard Justin's before, and this next one came to me actually in an epiphany I had in the shower when I was puzzling over this. Yeah, hopefully I can reconstruct it, but yeah, okay, so here we go. Alright, so you got your 12 bags again. So, the first step is still going to be a 4 versus 4. So you weigh 4 versus 4. And if they, okay, so let's say they balance, because that's a good starting scenario. So if they balance, what happens is, let's get rid of these Cheerios, because they're a pain to deal with. But, so then you take, how was it? It was, you weigh these 3 against 3 of these guys, okay? And so then, because you know that these are all good, you know that if this is heavier or lighter, then you know whether the bad bag is heavier or lighter, right? So then what you can do is you can just take, so you know the bad bag is contained in here if it's heavier or lighter. So what you do is you just take 2 of these, you weigh them against each other, and if one's heavier or lighter, then you know it's the bad bag, and if they're both equal, then you know this is the bad bag, and you know whether it's heavier or lighter. Now, let's say that you weighed these and they were equal. Well, then you know this guy's the bad bag, and so you just weigh it against, a normal bag, and you figure out whether it's heavier or lighter. So that's the first scenario. Now, so what happens if you weigh these these 4 versus these 4, and they're unequal? So well, I'm gonna So let's say without loss of generality, because like Justin did, you'll do the same thing but opposite if it's heavier or lighter. So let's say the Cheerios are heavier. So then what you do is you keep 1 and 1 here, okay? Then we're going to take these 3 Cheerios right here and just move these away to over here. Then we're going to take these 3 guys, shift them down here, and then take 3 more normals and put them over here. Now, so you've moved. Basically, you've taken 3 from here, taken them off, taken 3 from up here, moving them down, and then taken 3 normals and put them back up here. So, if this balance stays the same, then you know the bad bag is one of these that stayed, that didn't change position, okay? And so you can just weigh this guy against a normal, and if they weigh the same, then you know this guy's lighter, and if they weigh different, then you know whether this one's heavier or lighter. Okay, so now let's say they don't stay the same. Say they switch. Okay, so then you know that the bad bag's moved. Okay, because you switched. So you know the bad bag must be contained in here, and you also know whether it's heavier or lighter, because it must be because this went down. So this one must be heavier. So now you've got 3 bags. You know whether it's heavier or lighter. So then you can just weigh 2 of them against each other, and if they're the same, you know this guy's light, and if one of them goes up and one goes down, you know the one that goes up was light. The key to this whole thing, the key to my solution is if you have 3 bags and you know whether the off bag is heavier or lighter, you can always determine which one it is. And so you're always trying to get groups of 3. Now, if these actually, once you move everything around, if these balance again, then you know the bad bags were over here. And you know whether they were heavy or light because, of what happened.
All of these
here.
have to be good.
Right. And so, you know back here, whether it was heavy or light. So, then, you've got 3 bags, you know whether it was heavy or light. Just weigh 2 of these guys, against each other. If they're equal, this one's the off bag, and if they, go off, then you know which one's, heavy or light. So, yeah, that was my solution. And I think there might actually exist even more solutions out there. So, if you have a different one, feel free to contact us, and we'll whip out the quarters, Oreos, and Cheerios again and pound through it. So yeah, see you guys next week.